in Netherlands. Okay, that's also a very well-known university in agricultural research. And in 2004, Professor Tang moved back to the US to join the faculty of Iowa State University, right? Since now, I think you have spent time 15 years or so in Iowa State University. Right now, he's the director of Automation and Robotics Laboratory at Iowa State University. Dr. Tang was also former president of AOC, and this morning we know the founding chairman is Professor Zhang. Dr. Tang is also very good at entrepreneurship. I think he's president of Future Global, this company. That's very good. Yeah, very good. So let's hear what he has to say today about the FinoNet.
Thanks, Dr. Lee. So I'm going to do that in Chinese, I think mostly. But I probably do something around and switch back and forth. But most of my slides are in pictures and videos, so I don't think there's any hurdle for you to follow me, no matter what I'm talking about. Okay, you can look at the picture and the video. My presentation, in comparison to most of the speakers in this forum, I tend to be, as you can see, the title is more narrow and more focused to one particular project, which is still ongoing in my group. It's sponsored by Natural Science Foundation. I want to try to share more on the positive side of this project. There are a lot of excitement with this process so far, but we also have encountered tremendous challenges. So basically the work I'm presenting here is representing a lot of efforts from my group, as you can see the people on the list. But to start with, I'm going to treat you with a video. It's hard. Anyway, so this video is one of my favorite videos when I was a kid. I don't know how many of you watch this video, probably very few of you, especially students. Okay, I'm going to play this and see if you can recognize it. Just a quick survey, how many of you know this movie? Yeah, it's really my favorite. I remember, I watched this many times. I like this actor. And anyway, it's about how the hardship at that time, the first industrial revolution, what's happening in the factory, on the factory floor. Sorry, I probably speak more English. People have to work so hard to keep up the pace of the production. And if I ask anybody to really work like this, probably won't take it. So that's 180 years ago. Okay, what's going on now is the fourth industrial revolution. Look at this factory called Tesla Gigafactory, which is still, they are building a new one in Shanghai. That's what I know. It's really impressive, right? Because you don't see anybody really doing anything very hard over there. Everybody is pretty much behind the scenes to organize and to manage and design the system. So that's the robotized manufacturing. It's reality. It's changing our life every day. Not only in automotive, also like iPhone, most of the manufacturers are moving to automation. But if you look around, what do we have now in agricultural production systems? What kind of robots we have running in the field? Can you name some of them? The best we can name is auto steering, right? The 自动导航。so 自动导航是现在是一个用的最好的一个技术，但自动导航还远远不是一个 robot。它不是一个机器，但是它是很重要的一个行业。So, come back to what I'm going to talk about today for this very particular project. So it's really to come up with like a tool, like predominantly this morning. As engineers, we design tools for scientists to come up to a better way to measure the phenotypic data. So that's basically what I'm trying to get is the right side of the equation. And then scientists, when they have the data from the tools, as engineers we produce, hopefully they can have a better way to come up with this better understanding or modeling of this equation called the GIE, genotype by environment. This is also called, we call the predictive economics. It's a very prevailing area in research right now. Many people are putting a lot of efforts, not only from engineering, also from like computational science, from climate science, and breeding. So that's a very kind of lectures of research at this moment all over the world. But then technology-wise, what we have right now is the phenotyping technology is way behind the genotyping technology. So for the genotyping technology, is scientists we can now crack into the code of the genetic code of the biological object like plants or animals. So we have a very good tool to, we call it high throughput, tool to understand or get the code of the species, which was not possible some days ago. But if you look at the phenotypic data collection or measurement, we don't really have very good tools, and we are still pretty much in a very, we call it, the beginning stage of coming up with more advanced tools to help with the piece up with the genetic tools. Without advanced tools for phenotyping, and we understand we have a lot of real issues: labor, time, and accuracy, and also sometimes we damage the objects. As you have seen from some other presenters, there are many efforts all over the world to come up with better tools, like better platforms, better sensors, better algorithms, and some of them I have on the screen, as you can tell. Like from satellite UAV, so they are in the air, and we also have a lot of efforts going on the ground, and some of the very representative ones, many of them probably know, like Limatech and the heat field device from Germany. Recently I learned that Limatech actually went bankrupt. At least the division in the US is no longer operational. Yeah. So that's another challenge how we were that time we talk about in that area. So fundamentally what we are dealing with in terms of the technology development or challenges. Why in manufacturing we have very advanced robots that can produce wondrous cars like Tesla, provide phones like your iPhone or Huawei, right? They have all these very advanced manufacturing technology because they have well controlled the situation. They can have very precise control of everything they are doing. But we don't. We don't in agricultural system. We don't have that kind of luxury. We are dealing with variables. The variables from the objects themselves, no matter they are plants or animals. And we are also dealing with variable environment, soil, climate, right? Weather conditions, uneven terrain, and semi-structured environment in the field, especially outdoors. So those are the things we are facing, and that's why you don't see that many robots running in the real world in agricultural setting. We have more in controlled setting like in greenhouse, but not many at all in the field, in open field, because there are real challenges to make them as a reliable system for people to use. So don't be so pessimistic. So we still have some very good sides. So stay optimistic about the future. So the new promises we have are, my personal view is, probably most of you would agree, is from the tremendous advancements in technology, particularly in recent years, especially like in the deep learning area. So I can talk about that later, about the sensing, but also the computational technology. Now you can have very compact computer with very advanced GPU that would enable you to do parallel computing. So yeah, that gives us a lot of new hopes to do something in a more advanced way. Now let's look at the robots. For maybe not only unique for agricultural robots, but any type of robots, you would have multiple components or many components. If you do some kind of quick classification, we have multiple layers inside that system. Starting from the bottom, we call it machine architecture. When we talk about architecture, we have both software and hardware. How you design the hardware of your robot, how you come up with better software architecture, so that will help you to develop your software. Okay, there are many components in your software as well. Then meanwhile, we need to develop some kind of awareness of our robot. The robot needs to know where it is, what it says, right? And then decide what to do. Then we have this called controller. So the controller will control the robot, maybe like the vehicle, like the tractor itself, but also the implement need to control, actuators need to control. So we call it, there are two components as well. And then at the very top, that's the highest ground, is we call it mission planning or supervision. And sometimes we also have something we call behavioral control. So, so this multiple layer structure, I think really makes so much sense to myself, because when my group is taking on this task of developing this, we call it FinoNet, or fundamentally a group of robots, we call it Finobots. And in each robot, each Finobot will contain those components like multiple layers in this system. So what I'm going to do is to present some of our development at different layers, as you can recognize very easily. I'm going to start from the design of the hardware, how we design our vehicle, the platform, and then how we design our control system, especially for navigation, and then how we develop our sensing system, so that we'll be able to quantify or measure the traits of the crop. Just want to clarify here, the crop I'm dealing with in this particular project is mainly focused on tall growing crops like corn, sorghum, and they grow in rows, but they grow very tall, okay? And they have, in the US, mostly right now we have 30-inch row spacing. So 3-inch given rows are 76 centimeters. So why I said this is pretty much targeting at tall growing crops, because tall growing crops, they impose some very unique challenges to our robots. I want to go back one. Right here. So this is the paper I want to kind of draw your attention. There was a group published a paper called Machine Vision Application. Typically it's called technical paper, but that paper is totally about their cosmetic experience of even taking pictures in the field. So they said, oh, we send a student or anybody to the field, try to get some good pictures for compass. And they complained, they list all the challenges, but they feel like very desperate about not being able to get good pictures. And it was published in that journal, and I read that through. I fully agree with their points, because it's not easy. It seems very easy to take pictures, right? But once you have very confined, 你限制的这种环境, you only have so, it's hard to switch between two languages. So we have so confined space for you to do things, like to set your camera. You are basically kind of challenged. You don't have room to manipulate your sensors. And also, when you go into the field, you have sunlight, very sunny days, cloudy days, and you need to change the settings of your camera, right? And you need robots to know how to do that. Primarily, I think the space limitation and the height of that crowd impose tremendous challenges, even for human beings to take good pictures in the field, on the ground. So we have really taken on this, we start from sorghum, but sorghum is quite similar to corn, but they both grow very tall. Sorghum is even extremely tall. It can be overshooting through this ceiling, 4 meters tall. So we start from the first one, we get about compromise. In the first bit about one, we use the tractor and we equip with cameras. And then move on to something more narrow, smaller. So our beginning effort, we were trying to get something from commercial products. So the first one and the second one, they are both commercial platforms. But even the second one, we cannot fit that into the 13-row spacing. It's still too wide to put in there. Then we went to develop our third one. That's called the FiniBus 3 previous version or preliminary version, and that one was 22-inch wide. So give us 4-inch on each side to navigate. Then in this new project, this is the one I showed you on the very right side, starting from 2017. We are working on this one we call it FiniBus 3. So that's the one I'm going to kind of present how we develop this one. First, look at the things we want to, the phenotypic traits we want to measure. So I keep using the word measure. Not just to detect, but I need to measure. I need to quantify the traits, no matter it's how big it is, how tall it is, what's the angle it is, but I need to come up with a number. And that number, scientists, they have to trust on those numbers. So the sense we want to measure is starting from like stop diameter, ear height, leaf angle, fan height, right? Those are all we call mixture of we call holistic traits and then organ traits. And then we also measure population, the spacing, and we monitor the silking time of the ear, and then the tassel development to see how rich, how full the tassel if that has a good trace for the pollination. So those are so many things we want to achieve in this project. And as you can tell, you have your interesting points from different parts of the plant. Some of them are from lower portion of the plant, some of them in the middle, some in the very top. And as we know, this thing can grow typically 10 feet. So I mean, it's not 6 feet. You can tell it's much taller than me, and even 12 feet. And so we are really facing a challenge here: how we can have a platform can measure those traits from seeding stage to all the way to their full material. So that's something we are trying to come up with, and also to be able to be working in that kind of very confined environment. This table shows at different heights the traits we want to measure. Okay, I don't kind of want to reiterate that. We already mentioned that. And so the vehicle here, we are in our concept here, we want to gain something about 5 inches on each side for the navigation, so we don't really easily run into the plant. And then we have multiple tiers of sensors, and you see probably on the next slide. So we have multiple tiers of the sensors that would allow us to see the stalk at the bare bottom or small seedlings, and then all the way up to ear and the tassel. And also, don't forget there are variations. So even for the ear, the height of the ears will vary across different genetics. Some of them are so low, like here, some of them are up there. And you only have like 10 or 15 inches to look at them. Okay, you probably use like how wide facing angle lens to see the ear. Sometimes you probably still cannot see that. So then we think we need to probably make our camera movable so that we can track where the ears are. So that's this middle camera here is actually mobile as well in this section. And then this section is telescoping. So that will allow us to see the tall growing varieties for the tassels. And interestingly here, this piece here, you look at this is what we call a sensor mask drive assembly. This was situated right here. And why we need this piece here? This piece here is mainly trying to maintain this whole mast like a post. Okay, mast is sensor mast. I want to maintain that sensor mast kind of gravitationally supported Why is it important of keeping that orientation? Go back here. If this vehicle rolls because the terrain is not perfectly flat, you can imagine with that height, my camera here is in the bottom. It's going to just bang on my max. And let's just say to sense the max. So how can we more or less make sure my camera is more or less in the middle between the rows? I need to have this gimbal. So this whole thing, this whole camera tower need to be gimbal. So to make it out the gravitation is strict. It's actually pretty hard to do. We are still working on this. But this is a very complex design. This main motor controls 10 gears and the power train. It's pretty exciting about its headache to build. Okay. The chassis, we spent a lot of time. I think this is, I don't even remember what kind of generation we have in terms of the chassis design. We want to come up with very minor vehicles that can drive in the field. Also, we need to make sure we have enough space for power. How much battery can put on a small vehicle? Some people are trying to do something really miniaturized, but I really think the power bill is a challenge. So we want this thing can be running in the field 8 hours, like a whole day, without recharging. That's one thing. And then we want to make the design more like modular. As you can tell, the front section and the back section are pretty similar. And also here we have one thing I think we did, proudly speaking, we did quite uniquely is we have the differential gear. For those of you who learned the mechanics, you understand the differential gear, why it's so crucial for our cars, right? Because when you turn, your car won't skid, right? Even at higher speed, if you have differential gear, mechanically you automatically have that advantage. So then this vehicle will have much easier way to turn the field. The differential gear, but nobody's producing that differential gear for my robot. So we have to customize that as well. So that takes a lot of time to get the parts machined and designed. So these are once we have this everything together, this is the video of this vehicle. One day in our campus, we have that first round. It's like just plain vehicle base. Okay, yeah, sorry, I was a bit scared. So we have very unique design in terms of linkage between the front and the rear section. So you have what we call the rocker suspension. So you rock between each other, and also you have that kind of freedom to go up and down. And the steering is right here at the front joint, the hinge there. So we basically have something like a snake like snake going in between very narrow space. Okay, if you have a vehicle with like this length, but it is a conventional front wheel steering, it's very hard to manage in that very tight space because you can imagine. If I steer, maybe the front is okay, but then the rear is already hitting the planks. So I think this is a very smart design to have that. We call it a central articulate design of the chassis. So once we have this base platform, the next challenge is the navigation. Right, this thing has to go in real. Okay, you cannot just remotely control this with joystick. Okay, actually, it's very hard to do. So next thing we move on is to the navigation control. Because this vehicle is a little bit unique in terms of how it's designed, we have to come up with our own algorithms and models to make this thing automated. And the stuff we put on this vehicle, we have a lot of sensors. As you can tell, like cameras, GPS, IMU, they're typical. And then we have this set that's for sensing, which I'm going to come to at the end of the presentation. And then here we have our motor controller for the motors. And then also we have this 3D camera, kind of like 3D camera in the front to do like obstacle avoidance, also to be able to detect crop rows when the crops are very small. Believe it or not, many scientists, they don't have GPS-enabled planters, even at our state. They drive just like this one to plant. They don't have to. I'm surprised. Anyway, so with this capacity, we can break in the field by looking at the rows, and then we register the trajectory. And then we can follow the trajectory by using GPS. ROS. So ROS is a robotic operation system. Is becoming more like a standard benchmark for everybody to use, right? Because it provides, we call it purely distributed software architecture for you to develop your components. So these are the framework. Look at this. My student presented me and said, oh, that's not easy. Because this is complicated. And you have many nodes, like all those oval shape, they are different nodes for the robots and or your control algorithm, and then you have different type of messages. And then the communication between those things are very intertwined. So it's quite challenging. It took them 3 months to figure this out. Just do nothing else, just figure out the relationship. And then, what the good thing we have here, we have very powerful simulation. You guys can use that same way. It's available to everybody. So we use ROS, but then we also use something called Gazebo. So we can import the 3D design I present to you into the Gazebo, which is the simulator for the robot, which is this red color. You cannot really see the text. That's the Gazebo, that's our robot. And there's another, I'm going to show you this dynamics of what's going on between nodes and the messages and different modules. So once we have this, then we can start to build up the simulation. So when we talk about navigation, as many of you, we have auto-steer tractors, we have auto-steer cars. And what's the heck of doing navigation anymore? So we think we can probably have something we call the hybrid approach. We look at advantages and pros and cons of different control methods, and then try to make the best use of those different methods. The first one I tried is this we call it double DQA. It's basically a deep learning method. So we train our robot to follow the trajectory millions of times in the lab in the simulation. So once we do that, then the robot learn how to drive. One advantage of this method is to have a better way to cope with the sharp turning corners. So we are really running sample perimeter tests by using different platforms on campus. And what I'm trying to present here is, see here is this using deep learning. So it has a much better way to go around the sharp corners. I see very tight turn. But if we do more traditional, like pure pursuit, that's more kind of overshooting, downshifting type of syndrome. And the second method is called time elastic band. That more like optimized, localized planner. So the robot will be able to figure from the start point to the destination by itself how to go, how to reach the destination. Then, in case you put an obstacle in front of your robot, it can figure out how to get around it by itself and reach your target. Okay, so this is more like something ants is moving there. But it's trying to say how you can manipulate and then get into that very tight turned destination. And we built this simulation by using ROS and the Gazebo. And as you can tell, here is our robot. And we don't have any balance in there in our gimbal, so as you can tell, the camera can decrease it now. But just focus on the vehicle. And we also have a model to model the camera in the front. This is the camera in the front, and what it says in real time. What we're doing here is see how your algorithm works to come to this and to drive into this road. So it's doing too much thinking, you don't like it. But sometimes this, we put this adaptability is very important. Because it figures out by itself. So that's a mechanism, right? Even though it takes time sometimes. So you see what the camera says, then we can incorporate our algorithm there to actually stop detection. Another method we use the pure pursuit is very commonly used navigation algorithm. You can see here, so basically kind of look ahead, and then algorithm plans, okay, how fast I'm going to turn, how sharp I'm going to turn. Based on what you look ahead, is it more curvature or is it more straight, right? We also can run simulation in this environment, pretty much like in reality. Once we have this control algorithm pretty much validated in our simulation, then we can export this into our robot. You hear what I said? You can export this from the simulation to your robot. It's more than direct. Okay, so the coding is pretty much done here in the simulation. But we still need to do some work, but that's a very good confidence you can have once you see it's working in the simulation. All right. So this is what test we have in our farm. So this just show you this place. Copy with road tracking. But it's kind of went out too much probably. You can steer much tighter than it says. You can tell there's still rooms for steering. And just a couple days ago, my student did this testing in real field. These are our plants, they are all frosted, so they're dying or they are dead. And we are actually trying to fuse the front camera into the steering, to fuse that together with the GPS. But with this type of crop, right now it's very noisy, some of them stick in the middle, that can actually block my camera, essentially. So we are really planning to use that camera when the plants are small. Or when the plants are bigger, we do some obstacle avoidance. All right, so that's one litigation, and the same thing, right? I have some minutes, or I have to close.
Used about 33 minutes already, so you can finish.
The sensing is actually there are a lot of things to tell about the sensing. That's the whole thing. The vehicle is built for sensing, right? If you don't have good camera to sensing strategy, you're doing this for nothing. All right. So the sensing is the purpose of the sensing. This is front camera for the low following. You can skip that. And now what I'm telling you is to show you some efforts about sensing those plants in the field. Look at them; they're so easy and cute to look at. Just look at the stalk and mirror the side. What's the heck, right? Why it's hard to do? It should not be that hard to do. Sometimes it's easy, but sometimes it's not easy. When you come up with a method that organism, guaranteed it's going to work. Start from the strategy. Our strategy is to use stereo cameras. So when you use stereo camera, you're facing different kind of algorithm challenges. Like, are you going to use a very complex one or a less computational one, and produce different results? Okay. Then we'll also what will be the algorithm for you to detect the object, and then what will be your algorithm to actually come up with the narrative? Right. So this shows this deep learning network. Once I can draw your attention here, in this 2015, we already reached this 3.7% of error in this something we call the EDNet test. Just give you a concept here. This EDNet has 14 million images. It contains 21,000 groups of objects. Get that? 14 million images and 21,000 groups. And then it's a benchmark to evaluate the performance of the algorithm. This red line is what the best our human beings can do. Around 5% error. So, okay, instead of 50 computer world, it's surpassed us. It's doing a better job than us. So, don't question that. So, take that as fact. Computer is better than us now. Then, so take that as fact. Then, one thing I want to do, for example, is to get those stars detected and then measure their size. And so we try to use different camera to remove the lighting variation. So this image is weird to you probably because we have a filter called deep blue. Essentially, what we did is we removed the red, and we use the red channel to contain the data from the near infrared. Okay, so we replace red with near infrared. Then we post this on something called Amazon Mechanical Turk. So we ask people like general public to label my image. So we come up with this app, we post online, then people can label the image for us. But what we have here is a lot of issues with the work done by people you don't know. Okay, they are on the internet. Okay? And some of them are very good, you can use right away, but most of them you have to do a lot of fix, or you can fix and reject. Like those, you cannot use them. But these ones are very good, you can use them. Okay, what I'm trying to do, these are labeled, and then you can use them to train your network. And look at this, actually it's very hard to see the stocks. And the network did a very good job to find those stocks, and then we did further localized edge detection to find the stocks. But I'm still not down here to get this side of the stock. And with this new FingerBot, we are trying to do something better without sensor. Okay, this is another challenge. I want to get a stereo camera with strobe lights, with the very narrow baseline, so you can put it in that space that I have, this 15-inch, maximum 15-inch to my object, right? So anytime very narrow space between those. What I'm trying to do here is if you have something so close to me, I cannot see it. I cannot. Okay, unless I put my eyes very close. You get it? Okay, but you cannot buy that camera off the shelf. People don't care. People don't make this camera for this type of application. And then we end up with have to build this camera by ourselves, which takes a lot of time. But once we have that camera, we really appreciate what we did. This is so crucial. We have the strobe light help with the quality of the we did some testing in the lab, as you can tell. And the image I'm going to show you is very nice, okay, for the purpose of what we want to do. Okay, not for cosmetic purpose, but for the purpose of what we want to do. Okay, those are the images I'm seeing them. That's how I see them under sunlight. So I basically black out most of the background, but I highlight all the stocks I want to look at. The shutter speed we are using here is about 1/1000. So it's very, very fast. Okay. So that really helps us to remove a lot of things we don't want to look at either. We want to look at the things we are interested in. See how nice they are not in the evenings or in the night. We are doing that normal daytime. Okay. That's what I'm interested in. Okay. So those are a couple of pictures here. So essentially I'm going to have 5 of those robots deployed in 5 states around Iowa. And that's called Freedom Net. They are all networked. All right, that's my Freedom Net. Thank you.
Any questions from the audience? This is a very excellent presentation. Any questions?
那就是说，我有一个问题想要请教您，对于机器在这个非结构化环境当中的这个提高自身的一个工作的一个稳定性，还有是它的一个自适应性，你有一些什么好的建议跟我们分享一下吗？
这个问题好像很大。
就您
在非结构化的一个环境里面，怎么提高它的自适应性？
对，自适应性，还有它的一个工作的一个稳定性。
工作的稳定性。
对，有一些什么经验吗？可以跟我们分享一下。
有一些大家以前你可以有好多这种 literature 你可以看，就是这种自适应的路径规划呀，它可以有这种自适应的路径规划。但我们农业上面还是比较有这种叫 semi structure，it's not totally unstructured. You have rows to follow. You have given field you can measure. So you have something not totally uncontrolled, right? So probably I don't think it's very critical, but it's more important to make your system more resistant to the variations like sunlight, the terrain. I think those are very important. Open field application. To be able to cope with the change of the biological object and the variation of the environment in terms of like the working conditions. That come back. I don't have a solution.
谢谢唐先生。
So yeah, application based.
Any other questions? One more question.
我问一个问题，说那个就是植物它在不同时期的操作，那个把它的上下高度放高一点，会不会对这个有影响吗？
这个植物在不同时期的高度对我这个 robot 有影响吗？
对，它和您那个相机导是第二个高度会变成比较低的。
这个相机是上次小的时候用的，它是不是这个不是导航的？这个是测量你小的时候的植物的高度啊，这种形状啊。然后这个前面有个导航的，这儿看不太见。那个我们现在没怎么用，那个是主要是一个避障啊，然后做一个最开始的这个 crop road 的那个，就是那个周航的那个detection。如果你最开始不能给我一个 path 去 follow， 那么我就把那个 robot 放进，然后它就自己会去找到那个周航，然后去走的时候我再把这个 path 记录下来，然后后面我就可以重复利用这个 path。我们是这么想的。
一个这里边就是一个试教的过程。有一个是首先就是直播中就找到它，就会让它先走一遍，然后后边记录这个回忆，然后让它回来这个。
是这样的。
但是那个我对那个导航是前后还是不知道您那个位置在哪放的？
你说我这个导航那个点吗？ 那个点我就把那个 slide 都藏了，那个讲的比较复杂。是上次他搞的两个轮子相交，然后再 project 那个连线，它这个点是在动的，我们是这么做的。我下面可以跟你讲。
还有一个就是那个目前这个SLAM技术的这个工业环境和实验环境比较多样。您觉得他们有在工业环境里面有什么好的前提？
你是指 SLAM？SLAM 还是在比较，应该 SLAM 用的很多了啊，在就是 SLAM 就是叫simultaneous localization mapping， 我们就这个意思，就是这个如果你看一下，把这个 map 出来，这个上很多应用，尤其在室内是非常有应用的，我们用的很多。在室外，因为它比较耗时啊，如果实时用的时候不是很好用，对，因为它有个问题，像如果你像它风一吹或它就动了，知道吗？就是它不是一个固定的东西，这是主要的一个 challenge。所以 SLAM 一般这样在外面，除非你那个东西不怎么动。
我有一两个问题，就是这个 FieldNet 最后一个 slide 点出来非常难。那个 FieldNet 这些 robot 还有those robots are located in different states, right? 5 different states. So do they communicate or do they have a central?
They don't really communicate in real time, but potentially you can deploy 5 robots at one site. Then they probably need to communicate to have better ways to collaborate. But when they work in different states, I don't think they need to communicate, but just to download data to the server. But when you run them as a small group, then they connect the active. So that's why I really like ROS. That provides you a very standardized platform for communication.
So another question about the mechanical turn for labeling. Yeah. So yeah, my question was for you need some expert knowledge, right, to label certain traits. Only right now you only focus on stock, right? Stock.
Yeah, we can start it here. Yeah. Yes.
How trustworthy is the label result? You show some.
Depends on how complicated it is. I like this. Those type of images are very difficult for them to label, especially when the images are so large. It would take one person about 14-15 minutes to come up with something like that. And most of them will feel like tired of this. So later on, what they did is study this and reduce it to 3. And then they feel very accomplished. They did 3 images to 1. That really helps. So the patience of the human work is kind of factor. But there are ways people are trying to do something like less labeling or like semi-unsupervised learning. We are looking at that as well, or totally unsupervised learning from some cases. But so far, I think this is yeah.
Many images do you label you can determine?
We did this and we do waves.
How many images?
How many images? Oh, we do about 1,000. Yeah. And then we did dilation of pieces.
When I say it's image, it's all about phenomena. When I point the thermal camera to a tree, you can see tree trunk easily, not leaves. So it's one way to see if it can track that, see if it can just detect the stalk part and not leaf. So in that case, you see the leaves and then.
For corn, I can try how thermal camera would very distinguishable between stock and leaves. I think there might be. But one thing is the thermal camera can be quite expensive, but unless you do something very low resolution, this type of camera is, yeah, these accessible is very good resolution. Yeah, that's the point. We have a sensor that can tell, but
We are 26 minutes behind the schedule. I did a terrible job. Yeah, it's all my fault. So I guess if you have questions, you can talk to Dr. Kang later. Okay. 26 minutes behind the schedule. I'm really sorry.
But we start 2 minutes late.
I started with like 2 minutes late. Yeah. So about 60 minutes now. Anyway, so let's start the second presentation. The second talk is from Professor Li Shuguo.